I'm William Belford. A decree is a ruling issued by either a judge or a justice. The Florida Consent Decree is a ruling that addresses the civil rights of ELL students that were not being met in regard to the education and sets a framework for how these violations are to be corrected. In essence, the Florida Consent Decree provides a structure for Florida schools and districts to follow in order to make educational services and programs open and accessible to all ELL students. Section 1 states how ELL students will be identified for ELL services, how those services will be provided, how ELL students will be monitored and assessed for program effectiveness, how students will be exited from ELL programs, and how follow-up will be conducted after exiting an ELL program. Sections 2 and 3 state how ELL students are to receive comparable education academic programs and to equal access to all extracurricular services in Florida schools that are federally and state funded. Section 4 states that Florida teachers are to have training in ESOL based on what they are teaching. And then Section 5 and 6 states that the FDOE is responsible for monitoring all schools in Florida for compliance and assessing equal access and effectiveness to ESL programs in those schools. So addressing Theodore Mook and his what if question about what to do if a student says something to you as a teacher that's offensible in their own native language, I would say that the best thing to do would be to have the parent teacher student administrator conference about the use of acceptable language on the part of the student and the importance of the two-way street mutual respect between a student and teacher. We as teachers, must have thick skin at times and understand that students will make mistakes when they push the boundaries. And we need to let this kind of stuff just roll off of our backs. In addressing Section 3, subsection K, discipline, what if a student uses their native language to verbally harass either as a means of bullying or sexually harassing another student who is a native speaker of the language being used? How would this rule make the harassing student unanswerable for their actions, having the ability to infringe on the rights of another student in this way because they happen to use their native language while engaging in this transgression? So do you believe a student should be unpunished for using their native language in this manner?